Hi everyone. Just another little update, but really prompted by a question from one of my subscribers, Lee Wall. Now, Lee is a little bit like me, new-ish to the hobby, and by the way, he's got a terrific layout being built. It's around the network southeast era, but his attention to detail is brilliant, and I'd advise you to take a look at it. But Lee did just question what era I'm going to be running. Now, that's a very good point. Um, I'm more of a Steam fan, but do like diesels too. And I didn't want to be restricted by seeing a loco that I really liked, but not being able to buy it because it didn't fit my era. So I suppose I'm a bit of a raw one sort of guy and run what I want. And I was prompted from that after having a look at Mick at Lakeside's um, layout, where he runs Steam and Diesel together and modding image, and it seems to work all right. So I had a thought, and I've decided that the buildings um, and trackside stuff is going to be modern era, um, but I will run Steam and Diesel. But on a little caveat to that, I am a bit nerdish and I do like order. So I've decided to sort of split my running sessions into different eras. So I'm going to have, for argument's sake, era one for me is going to be pre-grouping up to the diesel changeover from British Rail Steam. Second is going to be, I suppose, it's a sort of British Rail Green era. I'm looking at my notes, sort of 1968 to 71, and that's sort of pre-tops. Then I was going to go for an era, was it 71 to 86? So British Rail Blue. Then into what have I got? 2000. Oh, sorry, 1984 to 2000, and that will encompass sort of the Network Southeast era, um, and the sort of sectorization, and then we're going to go from 2000 up to date. What I will try to do is to run things correctly, so you wouldn't get a sort of class 66 pulling some five plank coke wagons, or the same again in era one for me, GW Hall pulling some Network Southeast coaches. Um, and to aid that, I did come across a couple of useful publications on the Hatton's website. And the first one is, I lean over, the Formations Handbook. 7.99, and it's, I think, brilliant. It gives you, you can see um, formations. Um, so let's have another little look. We've got modern era guide to sectorization, privatization, deltic formations, if you can see that. And it will just help me try to keep things as realistic as possible. And another couple of publications was rail liveries. This one goes 1948 to 1996, and again just gives you an idea of what the formations would have been in different periods. Uh, there we go. And then I've also got one, the privatisation years, 96 to 2019. And it'll just really help me when I put some trains together, just that they look as realistic as possible. And those are very interesting as well. So they was from Hatton's, and I think they were $7.99 each. So I thought they were good value. Second part of the video is just going to be discussing yet more changes to the layout. I've took one of the sidings out because I was doing a little bit of testing, and I found that almost the 040s were having to do a handbrake turn on one of the sidings, and it was just ridiculous. So I've took one out and then turned the curves so they're much shallower. But as I said, there'll be a video just showing that. And then my return to Backscenes. Now, Barnabas Junction, I was just looking at his latest video, and he showed where he had got a custom-made backscene made by Jeff at Jumble Lane Printing. And, excuse me, and I thought, hey, this is brilliant. This is really what I was trying to achieve. And I had a little email over to Jeff, and so that if you upload some photos to him, he can sort of stitch them together and make a back scene. So that's really helped me. Again, in the video that's following, I'm going to show you what I've done and the ideas I've got. And it's also really that Jeff can have a look at and make some suggestions. But to be able to have your custom-made back scene is brilliant, because I wanted to use some local landmarks, as it were. So you'll see that in the video just going to be coming up. Lastly, I think at the last count I've gained a few more subscribers, so that really is brilliant. I know I keep saying it, but it is much appreciated. New people and the other people who have stuck with me, and I hope you're finding it interesting. If there are people out there like me who are newish to the game, it might help just see what I've done and the mistakes I've made, and just to show that you can get a running layout even with limited ability. So there we are. Thanks again, everyone. And yeah, that video will be coming up very shortly. Okay, bye for now. Hi folks, just want to pick your brains regarding backscenes. Just along the back here, and don't be panicked by the backscenes just lying there, because if I do what I have in mind, I'm going to need to get them down and work on them. So as you can see, I've done a little mock-up of railway arches with a shop above. Now my intention was to run these arches all along and all along the back to about where the PVA glue shows, and above them will be shops similar to this one here. Now that is going to give me a nice background, I think. And if you look to the industrial side, the height will be roughly the same. And that's what I had in mind. So I just wonder what you guys think. I think it will work alright. And I've got lots of different shops, and with regards to railway arches, these were from Backscenes, which you download and make up yourself. Not bad, but probably due to my abilities, the arches themselves were a little misshapen. Now I contacted Ian at Scale Model Scenery, and he tells me that they are in the process of designing some laser cut arches, either with a brick embossed or plain, which you can wrap in paper. For me, that could probably be the better option, but if anybody's out there who's got a foolproof way of cutting arches without them being a bit jagged, please let me know. It's probably down to my ability, to be honest with you, but if anybody's got any tips, that would be great. So if we just go through, this back scene will remain the same, and then we go on to this back scene here again. Excuse the rubbish, but here I've been working with Metcalf kits. So it's my intention from probably where that shop ends all the way down to probably where the drill is, to have the row of houses with a couple of more of those shops added. I have got some of the bigger shops just coming in, but just one set, because my thought would be if I had a load of big shops, surely then the street or the town would have wanted a better station rather than the one platform effort. So I'm just going to keep them as mostly these semi-detached houses, with a couple of more of those shops. Now, looking at the height, I think again that probably is okay, and this is where I wanted to ask your opinion. Should I have another back scene behind to give some depth, maybe with fields or something, or if I pop some trees in here and there, do you think that's enough height and leave it as it is? So there's another quandary. And then if we go along here, you'll see, and say hello to Miffy the cat, that there is no back scene. I am going to have a back scene right the way across, and after seeing Jason at Barnabas Junction put a video up saying that he had got a bespoke back scene made by Jeff at Jumble Lane Printing, that got me quite excited, to be honest with you, and so I contacted Jeff, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Just going to get the logistics of getting him some decent photos, but I wanted a nice panorama along here that will work with the church scene. So if anybody's got any suggestions or think my plan won't work or will work, yeah, just drop down a comment. Thank you. Okay, next up on my Can I Pick Your Brains list, in a bit of a dilemma. If I show you here, in those 3 boxes from DCC Concepts are an alpha power pack and an alpha control box. Back in October, when I went to the Great Electric Train Show up in Milton Keynes, I chatted to DCC Concepts. At that stage I had 12 points and was probably in that little excited mode, and decided that I wanted to motorise all my points, hence the purchase I made. Now I'm happy with the power pack because that gives me nice 5 amp regulated power, and also in a bit later on I want to have working lights, signals rather, operated through DCC. So yeah, happy with that. But it was after I was watching Graham at Lakeside's video regarding his container terminal that he said, I've not motorised the points, why do I need to? Because they're right in front of me. And that sort of ticked a brain. If you have a look around here and I stretch over, I'm in my little operating well. Now if you remember, my layout is 10 foot long, 8 foot wide. So here are the points here and here and here, and if I spin you round, there's another one here. Now as you can see, I can reach those without any issues at all, and it made me think, do I need motorised points, or is it just a little bit of a gimmick for me? I've only bought 1 cobalt point, that's fine, but the situation is, of course, I've made the adjustments to the points, so I've done as Pecco suggested, cut those 2 little wires, put the bordering wire across, and the connection from the fog, So here comes the cat again. Whenever a loco comes across, either it stops at the fog or has a little judder and then moves on. So my thoughts is, what do I do? Do I just crack on with the cobalt points? Do I take these points up and replace them so they're made without the adjustments? Yeah, I was in a bit of a quandary. So as usual, what I did was to contact John at Piccadilly, and he pointed out that I could use the Gauge Master, I think it's DCC 80 auto fogs. Now looking in the Gauge Master catalogue, I spotted that all you do is solder 3 wires, 2 that will join onto your buzz and 1 to that fog wire. And then what would happen, obviously you've then got the power to the fog, and secondly it would recognise what polarity was required and make the adjustment. Now I think I looked at Hatton, you can get a 3-pack for about £14-15 or £5 or £6 for them singly. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I've got 7 points, so what's that, about £50 compared to 7 22s for cobalt pulp motors. So you can see there's a saving. Again, I'll show you, look, I can move easily. Yes, I would take a hit on the alpha panel, if I sold it, but I'm just really, I'm in a bit of a quandary. So what do you think, fellas? Or if you've got any other ideas, folks, just pop a comment in. Okay, and then I shall come up with one more little item that I need your help with. Okay, update of what I've been doing. So as you can see, we've built some of the houses and shops for what will be the small high street. What I've also done, I don't know if you remember that there was going to be a factory here. So here's the first part of the factory, which is the platform area for unloading, and you'll also see that I've got a engine shed in, and so that'll be the engine shed for the factory loco. So the cat's here, but there will be just about here the entrance in. Go on, Miff. The entrance into the factory. I've got some more warehouses to go along here. So the factory will probably go, there'll be a fence that takes us through to about there, and so I'll have all this area. So that's working fine, and that's good. But my thoughts are, I've got a lot more space here. I was thinking of having maybe a stream or a little canal just going along here, round here, and maybe coming out here. I'm going to need obviously a road into the factory, so I'm thinking that the road would come in here, go along, we come into the entrance, and there we go, and then the road would continue through to this area where I wanted, again excuse the rubbish, but I've got this nice area here that I've got in mind. So I just wonder what you guys think. Yeah, what's the idea about the stream or the canal? What do you think? Or of course, if you've got any other better ideas. I'm pleased with how the Metcalf kits have come along. What also you'll see is that I've made even more changes to the track plan. We now only have 3 sidings. The original siding that came along here, it was just too tight. Even the short wheelbases nearly had to do a handbrake turn. So I said, yeah, that just looked ridiculous. So we've now got the three. One in to feed the factory, one which will be for the engine, and then the third one is where the empty wagons can stay. A couple of other changes I've made. I noticed that this line through the platform wasn't straight. There was a kink just about here, and so you had a big gap for the coaches. So I straightened that up, and we've now got quite a nice straight bit of track. The only thing is, of course, it's too wide, really, realistically, for passengers to come out on this side. And I don't think it's worth changing the platform. I could rebuild one, but I'm okay with it there. We could just have it that passengers only alight this side, and if they want to get over here, they use the subway. So that's what's been happening. Yeah, I'm pleased with how we're going. Pleased with the Metcalf kits. And yeah, but if any of you guys have got any suggestions at all, just let me know. Pop them in the comments. Okay, thank you very much. Hi guys, just sort of show you this as the last thing. You might say, Kev, have you had sound put in the Drummond? And I'd say, no, I haven't. What you see is one of the TrainTick sound modules, which I've just to try out. As you can see, I've got it in the back of this truck, and I think it's okay. Now, it's not not the best option, but it's one that will certainly work with locos that haven't got sound fitted, and I've got a few of those on the steamer side, and so I'll just put it in to a truck that can be used. It might be a brake van that can be used for any loco, and then I've got sound. As I say, it's a compromise, but at £40 it's a lot cheaper than getting, I don't know, £100 sound decoder. So yeah, let me know what you think, folks. As I say, I'm happy with it. It's probably not one for the purists. Here is the instruction manuals. Yeah, and there it goes. So yeah, just thought I'd show you that, and you might be interested in what I've done. Okay, cheers. Okay, so that's the end of this video, and thank you for getting this far and watching. Before I go, as usual, I'd like to say a few thank yous and shout outs. First of all, shout out to John at Piccadilly. So thank you, John, as always, for being somebody who I can run things across. Also, yeah, have a look if you haven't already at John Warner Piccadilly is his channel. Excellent stuff on scratch building. He's made a loco lift. He's done a marvelous engine shed, and recreating Piccadilly, Manchester Piccadilly station. Some terrific work on the roof, so do take a look there. Who else? Oh yeah, Hugh at Perth South, Perth Perth, as in Scotland. He, if you're looking for train control and using computers, My word, he's got a terrific start of a layout that he's building, and it's all going to be computerized control. So have a look at that. And also Ollie at Wardle Road. He done a really good interview with Graham at Lakeside, and I took a look at his channel and subbed immediately because he's done some lovely stuff on scenery. So there's those. And it just leaves me to say thank you very much. Um, for all your support. And I'll be back probably in a couple of weeks when I've moved forward. But please do comment. Give us your thoughts on the back scenes, on the points situation, what to do on some scenery. Yeah, just pop it through. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Ding the bell. And that's great. And thank you very much. Safe and happy modelling. Cheers for now. Bye.